ready for another lesson?
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Back Row Banter. It's been a bit for the Back Row boys. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is alliteration.
Is it? Been a bit?
It's been a bit for the Back Row boys.
Ah. Is it alliteration or is it consonants? Or can it be both?
I think it's alliteration.
It's definitely alliteration, but is it consonants?
What determines consonants?
When you use the same consonant sound over and over?
I think it was close.
Could be. Little literature lesson there for you, folks.
What a great way to start off our second episode in a month. In 4 weeks.
I think that's really what's going to bring people in.
Yeah, me too. We apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for having 2 missed episodes in the past 4 weeks. That's not something we want to do, but something that just had to be done with how busy these holidays have been for all 4 of us, really. So, but we're back. We're here with a shorter episode.
Yeah.
Should probably get that out of the way.
Good luck. We'll see.
Yeah. We're in person today. At least the three members of the squadron are minus Ty, because I'm home for winter break. Because the holidays and the semester's over. Thank fucking God. Yeah, and we're all here. I'm Adam Schwartz, of course. I haven't said that yet. I'm joined today by what I name you? Friendly Neighborhood Nathaniel.
What up? I'm the friendly neighborhood Nathaniel. Watch out for the angry suburban Nathan. He's my arch enemy.
He's a friendly guy.
But yeah, I'm friendly. What up?
Are you also neighborhood?
Yeah. I'm very neighborly.
Yeah.
You know, I'm out there. I'm raking leaves. I'm mowing lawns.
Clearing the tennis court.
Yeah, definitely clean. People call me the King Richard of the apartment complex.
Of your neighborhood.
Of the neighborhood. Nice. Also joining us today, it's Teamwork Ty, Tyler Vidalis.
All about teamwork, baby.
Yeah.
Twitch affiliate Ty.
Twitch affiliate Ty.
Whoa.
That would have been a better one. Maybe I should go with that.
Twitch affiliate Trabajo.
Lapsed my memory for a second. That's exciting.
Congrats,
It
dude.
is exciting. Thank you.
You already are up to 5 subs, I heard.
I am, yeah. First night, let's go.
Wayo.
Yeah, you guys are, if you subbed and you're listening to this, you're magical, and I appreciate everything you do.
Or if you were gifted a stub or gifting subs.
Anything you did to help makes me happy.
You the real MVPs, folks.
Yeah. I will hopefully be getting back to streaming soon, but I can talk about that later. We'll see.
Ooh,
Anyway, rounding out the squadron, of course, it's Big Spider BlakeHolder.
Hey.
Which is funny because you're deathly afraid of spiders, right? Or at least you were at one point.
I was at one point. I think I'm better now.
Yeah.
Granted, I haven't been in a position where I have to test that, but
have we talked about my rule for spider fear line? The spider fear ratio.
What is it?
It's when they move, can you hear them moving?
Yeah.
If you can hear them moving is when they're scary.
Yeah.
Anything below that.
I don't know if it was on pod. It might have been a pre-pod thing.
Yeah. I definitely do not want to hear a spider move. That sounds terrible.
You hear
Yeah.
Like that's the line. That's when I'm like, you're now an animal. I have to kill you.
To survive.
To survive. Yeah. We are no longer cohabitating.
Yeah.
We are in
Hunter and prey.
Yeah.
This is a dangerous situation.
Fighting for alphaism.
Yeah, territory.
Yeah.
We're in a dispute, sir, and you're going to lose. But other than that, if I can't, I'm cool with spiders. I don't know about what about you, Adam? Are you spiders?
Not a big spider fan, but
what about Spider-Man?
Big Spider-Man fan.
Whoa.
Segway King, man.
Good translation.
Too bad we have like what we're watching in between. That would have been
Yeah.
Someone asked me that question later, and then we'll get it back. Yeah, I don't love spiders. Prefer them not to be a thing. they're kind of weird. I don't know. I've decided. I don't know if I've said this on pod. My rule with bugs is anything insects, anything with 6 legs, I'm cool with. Anything more than 6 legs doesn't deserve to be alive.
Oh, man, see, that's until you wake up and like there's a scorpion on your pillow.
But I'm also a big nature guy though, so I do realize like what spiders bring to like an ecosystem.
Yeah,
so
and
it's
that's
like
what
if we didn't have spiders, there'd be like fucking mosquitoes and shit, and insects. To your point, just
Everywhere,
running the
running
world.
wild.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. So
mosquitoes are just
for their
the
services.
worst thing that's ever been. You know, are they got to be up there for maybe just the worst thing that's ever been evolved on this planet?
What else is up there?
Viruses.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say flies. I think too.
Okay.
People that spit gum on carpet.
Yeah.
Do people do that?
So this actually leads me
purpose?
to an interesting conversation I was having with a few people in the store today, which was your top 2 favorite animals.
Mm-hmm.
So there's kind of some interesting ones.
Yeah,
so.
that's an interesting question for you because I know how much you're into like nature.
Yeah.
And
stuff. That's tough, man. I think one would probably be some type of feline for sure. So rather it be maybe not a house cat, but probably some type of
cat.
Yeah. Tiger, jaguar, anything. Panthera, I believe would be the word. Second though is tough. I think I might lean towards. I mean, I don't know. I like raptors.
Velociraptors.
I think you said that last time I said that too. Of like eagles or hawks or anything. I like penguins. I'm a huge fan of capybaras.
Yeah, I talked about that before.
So I think they might take number 2.
Cool.
We were off track early.
Yeah, I was about to ask. I wanted to go around for a second, maybe ask Ty and Nathaniel, but honestly, like it's been like 7 minutes and we're already off track.
Manta rays and panthers.
Ty, really quick.
I
1, 2 off the top of your head.
Answer.
I like manta rays.
I don't know.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gun to your head. Gun to your balls.
Sharks and wolves.
Cool.
Okay.
That's all we needed. I'm just gonna say owls and.
I like owls, man.
Yeah, owls are cool. What was the other one I was thinking of? I'll just go with quokkas because that's kind of a go-to.
Okay, for
What?
sure.
Quokkas,
Quokka?
the ones from Australia.
They look like they're always smiling.
Yeah. But also, gorillas are cool, and like monkeys. Monkeys are cool, man.
Yeah.
Do you know there's a certain like the lowland gorilla or something like that was not discovered until 1992?
What?
Really?
Yeah, like
that's really recent.
Yeah, like something like stupid. Like it was like
so
a
funny.
legend before that. Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
That's so cool. I really want to ask about Bigfoot, but we'll just do that later. Anyway, welcome to the real part of the podcast. We're going to actually just not do any news this week and not do a new to streaming list this week. It's a bit late. It's been a busy few weeks, as I mentioned earlier. We all just want to kind of chill
And
catch
talk
up
about
a little bit, talk about what we watched, so what we're watching, and talk about a little movie called Spider-Man No Way Home.
I
You may have heard of it. You may have seen it.
I've dabbled.
Yeah. So, do we want to do trailer talk first?
Yes, please.
Yeah, let's do. Well, we're gonna do a quick trailer talk.
Talk about that
actually.
trailer.
We need that as like a soundbite.
Someone clip that for us.
Someone clip that for us.
We're
We're gonna talk about the
that
trailer, The Northman, which came out yesterday.
Couple 2-3 days ago. I don't know.
2-3 days ago.
It was- shout out Joe Madison, our old our boss, actually clued me in on this one.
True.
Yeah, I saw someone talking about it on Twitter, and I just didn't click it. I didn't know what it was, so I figured if it was important, it'd come back to me, and it has. The Northman, directed by Robert Eggers,
Correct.
who did, as you were saying, it was the Vivitch,
The Lighthouse,
and the Lighthouse, and is now doing this.
Love the Lighthouse.
That's good.
It's one of my favorites of the last 5 years, I think.
I still need to see it.
Yeah.
But
With
you talked about it.
we're just all over the place, but just with seeing Willem Dafoe in this,
Dude.
it made me want to go back and watch The Lighthouse.
I kind of want to go watch
We'll
it.
talk
too.
about that, and
Yeah.
we'll get into that. Yeah, soon.
Yeah. I'll link the trailer, of course, in the episode description. So if you have not seen it, you can go there and it'll take you to the YouTube video. It's awesome. This trailer looks. This movie looks really, really good. It's kind of.
It's a typical tale. It's a man separated from his kingdom, or a prince separated from his kingdom as a youngin, and swears revenge, and is out on the lam and is returning, and now he's going to go back and try and get revenge and save his family and find his own.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a Green Knight meets like almost a Gladiator or something like that.
If you've seen Lighthouse, Robert Eggers does a lot of kind of almost like play-like imagery every now and then.
I can tell that.
Where there'll be like a lot of like almost like soliloquies or like these very vivid visuals that are very iconic, and you're not really sure what's in reality and what isn't. Mm-hmm. Very, very cool. Great cast. Great looking movie already. I can tell. Mm-hmm. Definitely seems like kind of a step up in production value and overall size and scope, I would say, because The Vitch has like I think 4 or 5 people in it. Total.
I think it's literally just the family.
Lighthouse has 2. Right. So definitely a bit bigger in scope, but I'm here for it. I'm really excited for this. Yeah.
Sure, he pulled Anya Taylor-Joy from The Witch. He pulled William Dafoe from Lighthouse.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's
which Skarsgård is it?
In there as well.
Not Stellan.
Alexander.
Alexander.
Yeah,
it's still crazy. You guys said they were all one family, and I thought they were when I read the last name, but I was like, "There's no way." Yeah. Sure enough,
all great. Ty, you got anything to add on here?
That was a big sigh, I think.
It
I love Vikings.
Yeah.
So obviously everybody knows where I'm at on that. But yeah, I think this looks great. I'm hyped.
Is it a appropriate level of kind of like realism, I guess? I guess in my mind there's been a long history of sword and sandals movie, and there's a long history of kind of medieval movies, but there's not very many Viking movies that I can think of. So it's just kind of like, you see it as an opportunity to explore this kind of period and have like that, that Troy or that Kingdom of Heaven or Ben-Hur or whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, I think so. I think this definitely has the potential to be something really, really well done. And I think they're headed in the right direction based off what the trailer shows. You can kind of see his size somewhat in comparison to some of the other people, which
that's really cool.
Something that's always rather important in the Viking world. The bigger you are, the better you are for the most part. So you can tell that, even him being a scrawny little kid, he grows up and he looks like a fucking brute. So I will be excited to kind of see that development.
Do you think it'll go supernatural at some point? You think like we'll see like one of the gods maybe or something?
No, I think you'll see a spiritual side of that.
Okay.
Whether it's him, praying to the gods, or him seeing like an elder, or like typically Odin is seen as like either a raven or like an eagle. So I'm sure you'll see some kind of symbolism for some sort of symbology.
Some symbology in there
for the gods, but I don't think you'll see anything too crazy.
Fair.
Yeah, I think it'll be good, man.
Yeah, I think we're getting that in April, it said.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited.
It'll be here quick.
I'm more excited for Boba Fett right now.
Boba Fett?
Yeah, the Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, when is that? That's like very soon, right?
Yeah.
It's on the 29th.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many things coming out.
I was just about to say, so much to watch. I got to do Hawkeye. Now I got to do Book of Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. Can you keep up? Well, anyway, that'll do it for trailer talk here. Go ahead and check out that trailer, like we all kind of said. Looks great. Can't wait. And we'll probably do a review of it, if I had to guess.
I think so.
We will have to see what the schedule looks like at that time. But we can move on in here to the What We're Watching segment. I'll kick it off with Nathaniel. I'm sure
of course.
A long list since it's been like 2 weeks.
Of course you had to start with me. Yeah, I got a little bit of a list. I'm trying to remember it all, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I worked my way through the Matrix series. So we did
Nice.
Smart.
The OG Matrix, which I have seen. I originally saw in 5th grade, I want to say, at like a sleepover. It was one of those older brother movies that they were like, their friend's older brother showed it and was like, hey, check this out. And my mind was blown. But then afterwards, Reloaded and Revolutions came out, I think within like a year or two after that. And I distinctly remember it being like one of the first movies where I was like, those don't look as good as the first ones. I don't think I'm going to like try and go see these. And then I just never really did. And so I knew the 4th one was coming out and I was getting more and more excited for that. So I thought I'd go through the first 3. And so saw the first one. That still holds up, is an incredible movie.
For sure.
You know, and it really, if you want to think about it as like the end of the story, it really is. It can be just like the whole movie, which I think is what makes it really work. But then, you know, then I got to Reloaded. Man, I'm glad I saw that after I went to college and like learned a buttload of theory and like philosophy bullshit, so I could actually somewhat follow along with what everyone was saying. But really, really different and really kind of weird and odd choice. But overall, still pretty cool. And Revolutions, I thought was pretty decent too. I think it gets a little bit of a kind of a bum rap, but it's just very different from the other ones and is a lot more focused in person and not so much in the Matrix. But yeah, I'm really excited for the 4th one. It was really cool to go through the 3 of those, the trilogy. So speaking of trilogies, another trilogy that was also rebooted that I started was the Mad Max trilogy. I have not ever seen actually the first trilogy. I've only ever seen Fury Road. So
Interesting.
Yeah, that was the first time I got to see that, and that was really fun. It was
That's Mel Gibson, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Very weird.
Yeah.
It's a very weird movie because it is playing. They're playing everything almost like to the degree of the, like campiness or like like overacting that's there in Fury Road, but everything still just looks like a suburban road you would see in Illinois. Like it's not like the like wasteland that everything is in Fury Road. So yeah, but still overall fun. You know, you can kind of see the elements that are to come. From my understanding, the next movie, The Road Warrior, is actually the version that was released first in America. So that's what most people know of that, and that's much more that kind of avant-garde kind of vibe to it, I think, with everything's got spikes on it and everything's a desert. So I'm excited to go check that out. But yeah, that was also a good one. I rewatched Spider-Man Far From Home in preparation for Spider-Man No Way Home. And that was the first time I'd seen that since it came out in movie theaters, I think, actually. Or no, I watched it for the pod not too long ago. Or I watched it on the pod not too long ago. But yeah, that's a movie that I enjoy, but I don't think I've ever really connected to that much. I felt a little bit more connected to it this time. So that was a good watch. Definitely recommend it if you're going to go see No Way Home sometime soon.
Yeah. I really wanted to get to at least the Tom Holland ones, but I also really wanted to go back to the Tobey Maguire and Andy.
The Raimis?
Yeah, the Raimis and the Garfields. I just didn't have time this past 3 weeks. There was no chance I was going to have time to watch 9 movies or 6 movies, 8 movies?
Yeah.
7 movies, whatever it is. But I really want to. I think once Far From Home or No Way Home comes out on like VOD or Disney Plus, whatever it is.
Think you'll go through the whole series?
I think I might have to do a run through.
That'd be fun.
I think it'd be
You
great.
almost got to, you know?
Yeah. It'd be nice. I think this is, we'll get to that later.
Sure. I watched a lot of Forged in Fire this week.
Really?
Yeah, they it kind of became the kind of comfort show because it's again one of those things you can throw on, not think about too much, but still kind of enjoy, everything that's going on in the background and stuff. So yeah, I watched a lot of that. Watched more of the Cowboy Bebop on Netflix, even though it's canceled. R.I.P.
Rip. How you feeling about that though?
Yeah, I think it kind of got a bum rap, to be honest with you.
Are you surprised that it got canceled?
I think Netflix is overreacting, to be quite honest with you. I mean, it's kind of weird to me just because there are so many examples of those shows that definitely find their footing in the second season. You know, the first season of The American Office is terrible. I have tried to watch Parks and Rec 3 times at this point. I can't get through the first season. And, you know, then everyone else raves about it. I've just never watched more than that. So, you know, I wish Netflix maybe let it go on there for a little bit longer and, you know, what's it costing them? But
Right.
at the end of the day, they must not have thought that they could make it sustainable. So they pulled the plug, and that's their right. You know, at the end of the day too, I'm of mixed minds, as maybe we'll talk about a little bit more later, of just like, I'm so sick of adaptations. Just make new shit, people. Make new shit, please. But yeah, so then another thing I got to was I watched It Follows.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, love that movie. So that was the first time I had watched that in quite a while. So that was actually on my birthday, and I just kind of decided I wanted to watch something I hadn't seen in a bit, and that was the choice. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's on my short list of movies that every time I see it, and I own it, and I see it places, I'm like, oh, I should watch that, and I just never do.
Oh, for sure,
you know,
man.
just because I enjoyed it so much the first time I watched it. But yeah, that's a good movie, and I think it's pretty quick too.
It's only about an hour and a half.
Yeah, I figured. So yeah, not bad.
And that is a movie that has a ton of layers to it if you start to like look at it visually and everything. So yeah, and then story time. There I am today, folks, and it's my day off, and my friend Joe is in town. Shout out Joe for my birthday, and we decided we're gonna go see Nightmare Alley, the new Guillermo del Toro movie that came out this week that no one is talking about, but definitely came out and looks really interesting. So I booked tickets a couple days ago, and Joe gets here today, and we have some lunch, and then we go over to the theater. And, you know, I have been going to that movie theater for 5 years, and there has never been a time that they have not started the movie at least 20 minutes after its scheduled start time due to trailers. So we get to the theater, and the guy scans us, and he goes, okay, you're in theater 18. I believe that's down over that way. And I was like, all right, that's a weird thing to say, but all right. And I get into the theater, and I was like, it's 9 minutes after the actual thing is set to start. Get in there, movie's going. And I'm like, oh, shit, okay. Well, maybe because it's a smaller movie, there wasn't as many trailers or whatever. So we sit in there and go in a little further, and there's 2 people sitting in our seat. And I'm like, all right, whatever. The movie's just going. Like, I just want to sit down and like catch up what's going on.
I'm sure it's not crowded.
And it's Del Toro, who's like one of my boys, one of the guys that I wrote my dissertation on. Just like I want to find out what's going on in this movie, and I'm mad that it started already. So we sit down there, and like it's going, and I'm looking at it. I'm going like, man, this feels like 30 minutes into this movie to me for some reason. Like, just like it just feels like this has been going on for longer. So I go down and I check my phone, and sure enough, it's supposed to be at like 4:30, and it's 4:39. And like I double check my ticket, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, 9 minutes should have started. So like 9 minutes, what all could have happened in 9 minutes? I'm like, and like, I'm trying to justify it to myself. I'm like, well, like Up starts. There's so much that happens in Up in the first 5 minutes. Like, if I didn't miss that and I just came into that movie, would I know what was going on? And like, I'm just sitting there watching it, and like, it's enough that I fall into the movie, and I can kind of, I know exactly what's going on, you know? And, it gets over to it, and like, I'm like, man, this moving on at a good clip. This is all right. And then there's kind of like there's kind of like the end to a storyline, and then the movie just ended. And I was like, what? You know, what is going on? I knew it was a 2.5 hour movie. I looked down, and we're like 40 minutes under the runtime. And I'm just like, what has happened? And I go and I look at my phone, and I had booked the ticket for yesterday.
Oh no.
and I went there but it just still scanned the ticket. But my ticket for yesterday was at 4:30. The ticket for today was at 3:40. So we came into the movie like 45 minutes into it, basically. Right, wow. And that's why everyone was like giving us a weird look, and there was people in my seat. And it was way earlier. And I was just like, what happened? Like, I could not believe how dumb it was. And that like, it just scanned like it was no problem. Like they took my ticket and everything, and he was just like, yeah, it's over that way. And like, it wasn't that like, oh yeah, this is elapsed, or like, you know, you can't go in there anymore. It scanned and we went in. Like, there was no big issue. So yeah, I've seen 2/3 of Nightmare Alley, and I really want to go back and see the rest of it. Yeah. But yeah, that's my story for this week. And that's funny. Yeah.
That one looks good though.
It's amazing. Yeah. It was really interesting.
Dark too. It looks dark. And
all about kind of like the bits that I saw was, you know, this guy that's kind of a carnival mentalist and used to run in kind of those cold reads on people and trying to kind of like take that to the next level and you know, what that might look like and everything. It was really good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. If you like Del Toro, I think you'll really like it. Everything looks amazing. All the performances are really, really fun. So definitely worth checking out. But yeah, nice. I'll stop there for my my list for the last couple weeks. Blake, let's go over to you. What did you been watching?
Yeah, let me see here because I got to look at when's the last time we recorded, so I know when to pull my last diary from on Letterboxd. So okay, so it looks like I got decent amount here. I usually have the shortest list, but 2 movies I got to early last week, or last week recorded, I should say, was going to be AVP and AVPR.
Alien vs. Predator and Alien vs. Predator Requiem.
Yep. So I got to both of those.
Doesn't one of those take place around Christmas time? Or am I just totally misremembering that?
Yeah, I think you might be off.
Okay.
Think you might be off.
That's fair.
But yeah, so those are one. The first one just kind of has a soft spot in my heart. So I saw that on, what was I on? Maybe Tubi.
Okay.
For just something
to have
light
on.
to put on.
Yeah.
Like at 10 o'clock going to bed, and I ended up finding that one. So then I ended up watching the second one the next day. First one's cool. Once again, by the same gentleman who did the Resident Evils.
Yep, Paul Anderson.
Who I referenced the last time we recorded. So, that one's cool. Takes place in Antarctica. Maybe that's what you're thinking of.
Yeah, it could be. I could have sworn the second one was like on Christmas or something like that, though. But never mind.
Yeah. So yeah, it was cool. I'm a big Predator and Xenomorph, kind of their backstories and all that. So I'm kind of aware of all that through video games and YouTube and stuff. So cool. Kind of unfortunate the Predators get like picked to shit in that movie, basically.
There's always got to be one that just gets that loses in the end, right?
There was 3 of them, and like they just got pretty much like stomped out rather quickly. So that kind of sucked, but nonetheless, pretty good film. The second one, that movie sucks, but it's I like it though.
I kind of like it too. Yeah,
you can't see. It's so dark though.
Yeah, it's awful.
Movie is so dark.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, they could easily like shade it like 3 shades lighter, but then like all the CGI would look really bad.
Exactly.
And that's what they don't want to have happen.
For sure. But some of the fighting is pretty cool. The few fight scenes you get, but nonetheless, I don't have to harp on those too much. So got to both of those.
If you had to pick though, gun to your head, gun to your balls, Alien or Predator, who do you think's winning in a battle?
I mean, is it 1-on-1?
Yeah, 1-on-1.
The grizzly bear.
I think a Predator wins that 10 out of 10
Really?
times. Yeah.
I think the Alien does.
Yeah, it depends on. I mean, there's different types of aliens, though. It depends on.
Acid blood.
That's very true. Well, we kind of went on here and said xenomorphs are probably the perfect.
Yeah, they're just a nightmare.
Organism for sure. Like, it's tough. But yeah, I think 1-on-1. I think a Predator probably wins. Right, but aliens are really stealthy, so hard to judge. Right?
True.
So yeah, then outside of that, I end up getting to The Revenant. I rewatched that.
Ooh. I've only seen that once.
Yeah, so I rewatched that.
I haven't seen that since theater.
In Seattle. So I was kind of bored. and I caught it on. It was on like HBO or something at the hotel. So I rewatched that. It's the first time I saw that in a long time. Maybe since it came out, to be honest, which is 2015. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a long time, but that's a good movie.
Do you think Leo should have won the Oscar for that one though?
That was his first Oscar though, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I'd have to go back and look and see who the nominees were against that.
Fair enough.
But I mean, it was surprising that was his first Oscar, to say the least, right?
Well, I felt like that was kind of what it was too. Is that it was almost like a lifetime achievement award in some ways too.
Yeah.
But
It was like, he needs one of these.
right.
And it's like, why not give it to him?
Yeah.
It's him majority of the film.
I'll tell you what though, I think that one's probably a better performance than the Jordan Belfort Wolf of Wall Street
You think so?
performance. I think it's a more demanding,
I
harder
agree for
performance.
sure, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
I guess that's a fair argument.
So yeah, that was pretty good. That bear scene still holds up.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, the
gruesome.
bear scene.
That's movie's all shot on natural light too, so it looks incredible. And it took forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, and end up getting to that. Really good. Would recommend that to anybody who hasn't seen it, but I'm sure most people who are probably listening to this podcast have seen that movie or at least know what it is.
For sure.
And then do you have any info on the director of that one?
Alejandro Gonzalez
what else he's
Iñárritu.
done?
Yeah, he's another one of the guys that was in my dissertation. He's
He
good
did-
friends with Del Toro.
He did Birdman. I know
Yep,
of.
Birdman, The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance.
Yeah, because I see the
Babel.
movies, but I don't think I've seen any of these.
Yeah, Babel, 21 Grams, I think, is the other one that was his. Amores Perros, which is his first one.
Yeah.
And then I'm forgetting one of them as well.
Any good?
Oh, they're all incredible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's something I'll have to get to.
Beautiful, I think, was another one. And then he did one recently, I want to say, or not too long ago. But yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely, like, I feel like he's like the kind of like most serious of the three, kind of him, Del Toro, and Cuarón.
Okay.
Like, I feel like he's the one that like edges the most towards like my films matter and like I need to like make something kind of serious kind of stuff. But they're still really good.
I feel like Cuarón does that a lot too, still though.
But like if you hear Cuarón's also got like a really dark, wicked kind of sense of humor, I think, that comes through a lot. And he's also like a lot more, I don't know, kind of playful, it seems. But I could see that, yeah. If you've only seen like his more kind of self-serious latter half of his career. But anyways, I'm talking a lot again.
No, all good, man.
Oh,
Like I
you're
said,
good.
I was just curious on what else he had, because I like The Revenant,
Yeah.
and so do most people.
Yeah, he's really great. Would recommend watching most of his stuff.
Yeah, I'll try to put it on a short list. Outside of that, I end up watching Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, so I watched that on the plane going to Seattle.
Nice.
Great movie.
So yeah, that movie's fun, man.
That movie's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and that was
Movie's
the first
phenomenal.
time I've watched that since the theater, and I actually saw that with Marshawn and Kendall.
Oh,
Shout
out.
What was that, 2019?
The boys.
2018.
2018.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
You forget the last 2 years don't matter.
Yeah,
And if
right.
we had our own blip, basically.
Yeah, right, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was cool. Fun to watch on a plane, too. I mean, it's very interesting. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
And I watched it on a phone, and it looked good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the colors pop and everything. Yeah. But yeah, I believe Nicolas Cage is in that as well.
He is.
Weren't we just talking
Yeah.
about Nicolas Cage a few episodes ago?
Yeah.
So yeah, end up getting that, and then obviously, what led me to watch that was going to be Spider-Man: No Way Home. So I'll end up watching that Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, pleasantly surprised.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll push it over to Adam. What you watch, man?
Not a lot. These past few weeks have been very, very busy for me, and when I've had the free time, it's gone towards Halo Infinite. So, not a ton, but still some things. Nathan, for you, keep chugging along with that. I think I'm in the 4th season. I've just been going through it very slowly. I haven't been putting it on as much and binging as much episodes, but still going through that, still loving it. There really hasn't been like a bad episode. There are just better ones that are better than others, which is a good thing. Watched a documentary on Netflix called The Alpinist.
Oh, I was looking at that the other day.
Yeah. Let me look up the guy's name because
It's like a Canadian free solo climber, and he's friends with Alex Honnold, who I think is in the trailer at least. For the movie.
Yes, he is in it as well. So Marc-Andre Leclerc.
Leclerc.
Charles?
It's another kind of similar documentary to Free Solo of this free solo climber from Canada, as you said. I think it's what's the town, man?
Saskatchewan.
It's something like, I don't know if it is Saskatchewan. I want to say it is, but I don't know.
Saskatoon.
That's what it is. I think. I'm pretty sure. Hang on.
Sassafras.
I know you're saying like random things, but it's like one of those.
Sasquatch.
I'm trying to
Squanch.
Saffron.
Squanch. Thank you. That it is 100% Squanch.
Is it Squanch from Rick and Morty?
Squanchy.
Dude, I'm gonna find it, and then when you hear it,
It is like squaw or something like that. I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. I didn't know I knew so many SQ words, to be honest.
Yeah, me
with you.
either. And the fact that you're
Good on
guessing
ya.
like that, Canadian Free Solo Town. What is it called? It's not Squamish.
Squamish.
See, like it's like you were close every time,
Squanch, yeah.
and I was like, I think that's it. It sounds right, and then we got it though. Squamish.
Squeamish.
Anyway, The Alpinist, another free solo type documentary. Not nearly as much footage of him actually free soloing as the documentary Free Solo. And so for that reason, I definitely think Free Solo is still the better documentary between the two, even though it seems like it's pretty much the same filmmakers, or at least they had the same kind of aspirations in mind for it. Actually, let me look up really quick, see if it is the same people.
Could be.
It makes sense, right? Because it feels like they are. They kind of mentioned the Free Solo. One of these guys is not, and yeah, neither of them are. But they've done other rock climbing stuff. It looks like.
Okay.
So similar things, but not the Free Solo documentary. Anyway, not as much like actual footage of him climbing, just because Leclerc himself, they talk about it. No one's really heard of him when they start making this documentary.
It just seems like he's just some guy.
He is, and the whole thing about it, and it's really good, and I do recommend watching it. I'll say that off the bat, especially if you've seen Free Solo, which is the better documentary, and that's on Disney Plus, I believe.
Yes, it is.
So go watch that first. But if you like that, definitely check this out because it's of a similar vein, and it's good. But they don't. No one really knows who this guy is before they kind of make this documentary, and they start hearing about how he just climbed these like Alps, basically snowy Alps, free soloed, and the filmmakers are just like, "What? Who is this kid?" And so they just made the documentary about them going out to find him and meeting him, and then kind of getting him to do a documentary with them. So that's what they make it about. But he just does it to do it. He doesn't do it for any of the fame or anything like that, for the publicity, for the records or whatever. He does it because he loves climbing. He loves nature. He loves the headspace he can get into. Like that is just his passion, and he doesn't do it for any other reason. And it's a great story.
Worth a watch then.
Yeah, definitely worth a watch. I think it's only about like an hour and a half.
Okay.
It looks really good too, 4K and everything.
Not bad.
I dropped my pen. I don't know where.
Oh no, listeners! Adam has dropped his pen. The search continues.
Retrieved. What's next here? The F1 race.
Yes, I saw that as well.
The finale.
Yeah.
Tyler, do you care to talk about it? I'm sure you have a lot to say.
Shit goes down.
Shit goes
Went
down.
down. That
Shit
is
did
true.
go down. Do you want to go
It was
explain what
crazy.
happened? Or you want me to?
You go ahead.
Oh, man. Well, there's a lot that happened, I would say, throughout the race. I guess we can just start with the end.
Yeah, just because.
Yeah, true.
And for sake of time.
For sake of time, Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, tied going into this final race of the season, which is kind of unheard of. That's really hard to do in Formula One with the way the points are distributed.
Correct.
Having a tie between two racers for first was kind of crazy. And essentially, Max Verstappen started in pole position, right? Or was he P2?
Nope, he was pole.
Okay. Loses pole position off the jump for like the second week in a row. So to Hamilton. So that's how the race starts. Hamilton, some things happened here and there, but Hamilton essentially kept the lead for most of the race, had a pretty commanding lead, I would say. And
Nasty pace.
Yeah. And that changed at the end of the race when Max Verstappen, who was in P2.
Well, it kind of changed in the middle because
due to some very good driving from Checo.
Yes.
Phenomenal driving.
Yes, I was gonna skip over that part just because for time's sake, but of course. Teammate Sergio Perez, Checo, had some exceptional defensive driving against Hamilton that allowed him who slowed him down enough for Verstappen basically to catch up back
to work his way back
to Hamilton, because he would have been a good 25-ish seconds behind almost, it felt like.
Correct, yeah.
Without Perez, who was, I forgot if it was a pit stop or what it was, but was in front of Hamilton for a period of time and was able to slow him down enough and prevent him from speeding ahead so that Verstappen could catch up. And then that time frame, so I think he was within 10 seconds for the rest of the race, for most of the race.
Yeah.
That was only because of Checo. And so he would have been like 30 seconds behind rather than 10. Either way, towards the end of the race, not looking good for Verstappen. He's down about 15 seconds with there was 6 or so laps left, I think.
Yep.
And Nicholas Latifi decides he's going to run himself into a wall.
Safety car.
So safety car, which of course means all of the drivers are going to have to go a lot slower. There's no passing, and the big discrepancy here.
Mm-hmm.
Max Verstappen decided to pit for tires, new fresh tires, because why not? He had nothing to lose. He was going to keep his position, and
Lewis stayed out.
Yeah, and he was going to keep his position if he pitted or not, so he did. Got the fresh tires for what ended up being one last lap, and Hamilton did not, because he would have lost position most likely. And the whole discrepancy came down to there was about 5 cars in between Verstappen and Hamilton, who Verstappen was about to lap, or had lapped, one of the two, whatever it was, that he was needed to get by. And it came down to one last lap that they were restarting. And the original call was that he was not going to be able to pass them, and he was just going to have to, drive through all of them and pass them naturally, like he would in a regular race. In the last second, they decide, you know what? He can pass them. Verstappen, P2, Hamilton, P1. One race to decide the championship.
Send it.
Had Verstappen on full fresh tires, Hamilton on 40-lap tires.
Yeah.
So instantly, once that call was made, you kind of knew what was happening. It was possible for Hamilton to defend well.
It was, but it was going to be tough.
It was going to be tough, though. And sure enough, Verstappen comes around.
No, Michael, that was so wrong.
That was so not right.
This is motor racing.
We are going motor racing. And yeah, Verstappen came out like a fucking beast, and it didn't take too long for him to overtake Hamilton, and Hamilton had one good chance with a slipstream, and once that was defended against, you kind of knew what was going on. Kind of knew it was done, and there it was. Max Verstappen, first time Formula One world champion. Lots of controversy.
Quite a bit.
What are your thoughts, Ty, on everything that happened?
I've talked about this with a lot of people over the past week or so, and it's there are obviously rules and regulations to this sport, but there is also a panel of people upstairs that get to make the overall decision, and you don't overly see that in most sports. I mean, obviously you can do like things for reviews and stuff like that, but you can't just call a lap back like you can call playback in football. So,
sure.
There's a lot of human error that can occur in that kind of stuff. And, you make a decision and you move on and you just go with it. And like the race director said, we decided to go with motor racing, and that's the sport, and I get it both ways, and I'll never take anything away from Lewis Hamilton. The guy is a fucking monster, and without a miracle that every Red Bull fan was praying for, that would have been a lost race. So I don't take anything away from either driver or any team. Everybody had a good ass season, and I can't wait to see what happens next year.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
so
next year's
in
going
for
to be
next year.
very interesting.
And looking at all the cars from everything that's going on in testing, it's going to be fucking insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Race. What a fun race. What a fun finale. It was awesome to see. I can't wait for Drive to Survive season 4.
Should be
I
fun.
can't wait to see what kind of storyline they whip up for us, because this was fun to watch as just, watching the raw races. But when it's edited down, they have, the interviews, and they get those slow-mo shots. They get that music going. You know how they do it, Nathaniel.
I agree.
Yeah, I can't wait. And then the last thing I watched was the Halo Championship Series opener.
Wow.
Yeah, shocker. They had their first competitive LAN event in Raleigh, South Carolina this past weekend. My favorite team, Optic Gaming, did not take away the trophy, even though they were predicted to win. I think they ended up getting fourth, fifth, or fourth, one of something around there. But it was a great tournament. It was great to watch. A lot of fun. It seemed like everyone there had a great time, and it was like a good Halo kind of resurgence. Because Halo kind of was one of the first like big esports, especially on console, especially for shooters. And it has fallen off since Halo 3, Halo Reach, and this was the first time. I think the peak viewership was at 247,000 viewers.
Wow.
Which is the most they've ever had, and this was the most teams they've ever had at one event. So it's awesome to see, because Halo's, in my opinion, a very good esport. It's very fun to watch for me personally, and I think a lot of people enjoy it too. And I think that this game is just so well balanced. It's accessible for people to go play if they watch when you have a game free to play like that, where the multiplayer is free. You have two very good things going for your esport, where people who are just downloading the game to try it and play it can understand what these players are doing a little bit better, because they've played the game and they enjoy it, and so they're more likely to check that out. And vice versa, if you see the esport being played and you go, hey, this looks like a lot of fun, this looks like really cool, like I want to try it out. Oh, multiplayer is free to play, so it works really well both ways. They've got great integration with Twitch, where they had some Twitch drops where you had to watch at certain times and certain days for a certain period of time, and you got certain in-game cosmetic items.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was just fun to watch. It's I've missed Halo. I've missed watching the competitive scene, because it's been 2.5 or so years since really the last big LAN event, and they haven't played a modern Halo since 2018. They stopped playing Halo 5 in 2018 just because no one was watching. So
definitely feels like there is a large upswell of support for Halo right now.
And it's good to see, and it's well deserved, because I know 343. It's been 6 years since the last Halo. I'm sure they've been through development hell with that game, because it's been delayed God knows how many times. The fact that it launched in the state that it's in after 6 years of development tells me almost for a fact that at some point this game was scrapped and restarted. I don't know at what point, but I think they had a game, they were developing it, and I think they realized it wasn't what it needed to be. I think they realized there was a lot more pressure than they thought after starting, or after right after H5. And they decided to do a complete 180, and I think this game has only been in development for maybe 3 years.
All right,
that's my theory.
Bold prediction.
I have no way of confirming that, but
I'm sure it'll come out if
I'm sure some kind of thing will come out eventually, but it'll be a while before we hear anything like that.
Sure,
but just the content that is the game launched with is just not deep enough for me to believe that they spent 6 years making this game. Because it's really well refined, it feels great, everything, but it's just there should have been way more if this has been a game that's been in development for 6 years.
Unless they're pocketing some stuff for the new future.
That's definitely a possibility. Definitely a possibility. We'll have to see. I don't necessarily feel like that's the case, just because of how much it was delayed. If you're going to delay a game like that, then it means that you're still trying to fix it and finish it.
Agreed.
So But I'm sure there definitely is stuff that they held back. Just knowing that they're gonna have to keep making content for this game because it's gonna be a 10-year game.
Sure.
Battle Royale, I'm sure we'll see at some point in the next 10 years. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So that'll be cool. But yeah, congrats to Cloud9. Got a lot of their players, or one of their players, he got his first LAN tournament win, and he really deserved it. He's been around since early Halo 5, and he's been really good. Just has never gotten that tournament win. He's one of those players that just kept getting close, has so many grand final appearances, and just always loses and gets second, and he finally got a win. So good for him. Yeah. Tyler?
What you been watching, dude?
You guys want to know what I've been watching?
Yeah, and hurry up because we're relying way longer on
I
time.
better hurry up. I'm not really going to talk about a whole lot, and my list is a lot bigger than what it is. But I can't really remember everything because I did not keep track when we first decided this. So joke's on me, suckers. So right off the rip, we decided to do The Lion King, the live version, which was just always good to go back to. Love it. Great.
The Jon Favreau one.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Happy.
Happy.
The Unforgivable, which is a Netflix movie, with Sandra. Is that Sandra Bullock?
Yeah, it is.
I
Yeah.
almost put it on.
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah, I liked it.
Hmm.
Wasn't bad. If you're looking for just a Netflix movie that they actually did pretty decent on, go watch that.
Sounds good.
We watched Christmas Vacation. Classic for me.
For sure.
Carolita hated it.
No.
It's real nice, Clark. Real
but yeah,
nice.
I love that movie. That's been a classic in my home since day one. So we also got to Four Christmases, which is also just a cute little Christmas movie.
This is the one with
That is,
Vince Vaughn
Correct.
and Jennifer Aniston?
No.
Oh, okay.
I forget her name.
Well,
But
Vince Vaughn. then.
yeah, short little blonde.
Reese
with-
Witherspoon.
Yeah, I was gonna say Witherspoon.
Fair enough.
Yes. We also got around to Hawkeye. So if you've been watching that,
I
talk to
have
me
been
about
watching Hawkeye. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's my favorite of the Marvel shows.
it. Well, yeah, we've talked about this off
That's saying a lot.
pod at
That's
work,
crazy
and
to me.
I would have to agree.
That's crazy. to
It's
me.
just so much fun. Like
It's so wholesome.
yeah,
Yeah,
Better than Loki?
and it doesn't. I think maybe because it is Hawkeye, and he is one of the first people that you kind of grow up with in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
That it feels a little closer to home
and it's
than some of the other ones felt. So
yeah, it's questioning his actions and his own emotions and everything. And yeah, I think you're right. I think that leads a little bit more into like audience. Like, yeah, I actually care about him and his character
Right.
and everything
True.
that's going on with that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
All right. I will get around to it. Just like I said, it's been Halo or die.
yeah.
And
So I
I-
highly recommend that.
and I don't know that it's gonna be like the same experience with everyone, but just like I feel like for where we are right now, and like I felt like I needed a nice, happy, easy show, and like that's kind of what it's been. So
Good.
yeah.
Thanks.
That's good to hear.
Got around to a couple things from old Willie Smith.
Yeah.
Got to the little docu-series, nature series on Disney Plus from National Geographic. It's
Okay.
called Welcome to Earth.
Yeah.
I prefer to pronounce it as Welcome to Earth.
Arf.
That's been pretty interesting. It's interesting to see kind of Will Smith interact with that side of things. I guess a lot of famous people have been kind of going out in the world and kind of, seeing different things. And like you saw this with like Zac Efron and, kind of his
Goldblum.
thing. And so,
Yeah,
but,
the Goldblum
yeah,
one.
so far it's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I don't mind it.
Think you'll continue it?
Yeah, I think so. I don't see why not. It's super easy to just put on before you go to bed, something like that. So,
Fair enough.
and then the other thing from Will Smith was iRobot.
Oh, okay. Haven't
Yeah,
seen that in a
cool
while.
little classic in there.
Mhm.
So I still don't mind that movie. It's not a bad movie. You can definitely tell the animation has not aged very well, but some of it actually looked pretty decent for where I think it was.
Mm.
But
What year is
it's
that?
a
Like
little hit or miss
2003?
there.
4, I think. 04, 05, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And then I've just been tracking a ton of YouTube. So other than that, that's pretty much it for me.
So
Any questions, comments, concerns?
No.
No, man.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that was
Good.
04 for iRobot.
Huh?
So that was 04 for iRobot.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Spider-Man. I don't.
And then we all got to Spider-Man.
I'm too tired to think of a segue right now. So yeah, here we are, listeners. It's it's episode 82. And it's 11:21 p.m. Spider-Man. Let's talk
Allegedly.
about it. Welcome, listeners, to the main review segment here at Back Row Banter. This is the ASMR episode. I'm Adam Schwartz. Nathaniel, would you tell our listeners about the review segment here?
Yeah,
How it
but I'm
works.
not doing the weird ASMR voice. What up,
Slow it down
listeners?
for here, folks. And,
We're gonna slow everything down here on
let me lick my lips and you can hear it.
KYOT.
KYOT. The Coyote. Smooth jazz. Yeah, the way the review segment here works on Back Row Banter is it is broken down into two sections. There's the non-spoiler section, and then there's the spoiler section. It's pretty self-explanatory. In the non-spoiler section, we'll go over the movie's basic IMDb page, what year it came out, who directed it, who's starring in it, our initial thoughts, and then we'll go into the spoiler section. I'll play the spoiler sound so you can back out if you don't want to listen any further, but do come back to listen to the end of the episode. In the spoiler section, we'll go into our deeper thoughts of the movie. Oh, I should say before we go into the spoiler section, we'll have to decide yes or no. Would we recommend this movie? There is no nuance on the internet. And then we'll go into our deeper thoughts. Any big spoilers? Which, yeah, there's going to be spoilers in this one. Then we'll bring everyone back and see where this movie ranks up on our Entropy list, which is our big list of everything we've watched for the podcast, ranked. So, that being said, Adam, tell me about Spider-Man No Way Home.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is the latest in the Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy. Spider-Man No Way Home, released this year, of course, 2021. Was this delayed at all? Maybe a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah, I don't think too much.
Just-
It's sitting at a
just a
9.0
little
on its
Wow.
IMDb
9.0 on IMDb, which
with 200,000.
Now, does that-
That's crazy.
what is The Shining? Does that top it?
It's got to
that
be
was
higher.
like 8.7
Yeah, I'm sure the
or something.
I'm sure
like
The
that.
Shining has more reviews, but that's probably higher.
The Shining has an 8.4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. The Rotten
Because
Tomatoes
what's the highest?
score-
I think it was Inception, right? At like 8. Was it 8.8?
I think
or something
8.8.
like that?
Yeah. 8.8.
The Rotten Tomatoes No Way Home score currently sits at give me 1 second. 94
Wow.
tomato meter and 99% audience score.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
70% on Metacritic, which I feel
Yeah.
like is always a little bit more accurate.
yeah, good movie. I don't know about the 90%. Yeah, 99%.
I mean, that's
or
just approval
9.0
though. That's just like, hey,
IMDb.
99% liked it, I think, right?
But that's expected for a movie like this.
Yeah.
so.
And I certainly liked it, but we'll get to that in a little bit. PG-13 runtime of 2 hours and 28 minutes, making it the, I believe, 4th longest Marvel movie, 3rd or 4th. 9.0, of course, as we just said, directed by John Watts, who did the first two in
That's
the trilogy.
Completing the trilogy.
Yep,
First
and
director, too.
with the same writers, Chris McKenna and Eric Sommers. who
And
also
then
did the
he's
first two.
going to be doing the Fantastic Four one.
Is that what's confirmed?
Yeah, Marvel locked him up for that one.
Interesting. That'll be fun. Again, we need to figure out who they're casting, which will all be interesting.
True. I think they
Uh,
should cast us. The Squadron.
Who's playing
I mean,
Sue Storm?
You.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say that.
You're the blondest.
That's true. I guess that's true. All right, I'll do it. Anyway, the cast. Tom Holland, of course, as your lead. Peter Parker, a.k.a. Spider-Man. And then you have Zendaya, Benedict Cumberbatch, Jacob Batalon, Jon Favreau, Jamie Foxx, Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina, Benedict Wong, Tony Revolori, and Marissa Tomei. I'm going to stop there.
Action packed and star-studded, some would say.
Yeah. Very star-studded. I mean, that was a long list right there.
It's true.
I rattled them off quick because I realized how many there were to get through.
It's kind of the state nowadays with Marvel movies,
It
isn't
is.
it?
It really is, right?
You're just like,
Huge
yeah,
ensemble cast.
this is just a
And
murderer's row.
What's hilarious is that it's just so acceptable to us now.
Yeah, 100%.
I remember back watching the Avengers in 2012. It was like, no way, all of these superheroes from different movies are on screen together. Like, this is awesome. I'm in theaters. My jaw's dropping. And like, oh yeah, Spider-Man just has, Jamie Foxx, Willem Dafoe, Benedict Cumberbatch, Zendaya, and Marisa Tomei, and all these actors together on screen. And that's just what happens. That's just another, Friday in Hollywood, The IMDb summary reads as follows. With Spider-Man's identity now revealed, Peter asks Doctor Strange for help. When a spell goes wrong, dangerous foes from other worlds start to appear, forcing Peter to discover what it truly means to be Spider-Man.
Liked it till the end.
Yeah, that goes a little over the top there at the end.
I think that that last bit of what it means to be Spider-Man is just, it's not evocative enough. There's not enough detail there. Not enough oomph.
I agree.
But we don't have to rewrite this here. That's not our job. What is our job is to talk about whether or not we liked this movie.
I like that little transition there. Yeah, but I liked it. Liked it a great deal. A very great deal.
Now, I liked it as well. Blake?
It sounds like you have a caveat to add on to that, the way you said it.
No, did you want to finish it down, or you just going to me?
No, I'm going to you. Yeah.
I liked the movie, for sure. It is good. I'll say that. I mean,
but is it
9.0 out of 10 on IMDb? Like I can't agree with that, but it's good. I like it. There's a lot of fan service, but I mean, I don't know, like who expected this movie to be bad? So it's like it's hard for me to give it a lot of credit when it's exactly what we knew it would be. Like I didn't think this movie would be terrible. It was like watching Endgame, where like there's no way I thought Endgame would be bad. It's a good movie for sure. But, yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents. I definitely like it.
Do you feel spoiled in any ways nowadays that you're just kind of like, oh, I know what this is going to be?
A little
in
bit,
some
and
ways?
I think that's kind of like what Adam was saying. It's like crazy how you get so used to that, opposed to what is that 9 years ago, the first Avengers in 2012.
Right.
Yeah.
It was just like night and day difference between like how excited you are for something like that. And I was excited for this movie, and as well as you can see most of the world was, obviously, just with the fucking numbers, like I said, in a packed theater on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
In a completely packed IMAX theater. You know what I mean?
I am surprised at how big it is.
This
already.
movie's fucking huge.
I think it set records for in one weekend how much money they made or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't
in
have
the
exact
midst of a
numbers in front of
pandemic.
me, but I just saw, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is I also saw like people saying like, imagine if this wasn't a pandemic, it would probably beat Endgame's numbers.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I think it would've been close.
I think so, dude.
I think it would have been close.
Yeah, I went on pod earlier when we were talking about this a few weeks back. I was like, I think if we're not in a pandemic, I think this is probably a $2 billion movie.
I'll tell you if I believe that after next week, because I'm wondering if this is just going to be just a bang, like everyone goes out and sees it in the first week, and then next week, like the numbers just drop off like crazy.
Sure.
Or
amounts.
people are going to do what I'm going to do and go see it again
rewatch
next
it.
weekend.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, because I do plan on going and rewatching this movie.
I'm going on Christmas Day.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, they'll probably get a pretty big crowd for that too, Ty. So, but yeah, that's my brief non-spoiler thoughts. I do like it though. I will admit to that.
Yeah,
Best Marvel movie? I don't know about that.
I like it. I just don't know. I like it, and I had a good time with it, but I don't know how well this movie is going to stand up even a year from now, or 2 years from now for me. Will I look back on this movie and be like, oh yeah, that's such a good time, or will I, the entire time in the movie theater I had a smile on my face.
Yeah.
But will I just look back at it and I was like, oh, that was a great experience I had, or I remember that was a great time at the movie watching that.
But will
Not
it be a
necessarily
great
something.
movie?
Yeah, I go
Is it-
back
yeah.
to for a movie because I don't think it is at this point anymore.
Sure.
I think
that's a very fair criticism.
It's almost impossible to look at as a single movie anymore. You have to bring all this other stuff in.
I think a good way to put it is this is an incredible viewing experience in piece of entertainment, but like it is not necessarily a good movie.
Yeah,
to you
great
guys,
movie. I think it's it's borderline functional.
Yeah,
I'm really mixing on it. Tyler, talk a little bit.
Yeah,
I
go
feel
ahead,
like I haven't let you talk enough yet.
I liked it. I thought it, like Blake said, there's definitely a lot of fan service here, but I think it was done in a fairly good way. I know a lot of people were a little nervous of getting a Spider-Man 3 kind of esque, too many villains kind of going on thing, but I think they obviously learned their lesson and they played this out pretty well. And overall, I thought everything was driven the right way, as far as when they brought characters in, when they did. But overall, I'm in on this. Like I said, I'm going to see it again Christmas Day. That's like our family tradition. On my dad's side, we go see a movie on Christmas Day, and they decided on this pretty early, and I told them that's great, but I am going to go see it beforehand because, one, I'm not going to wait around for somebody to spoil it for me, and two, it's for the pod,
For the squadron.
No, I hear you, man. Like I said, I think this is going to have a huge viewership on Christmas Day and Christmas Eve, just for people who have those family traditions. I mean, like, what else are you going to go out there and see right now?
Kurt Warner's biopic.
The Matrix.
The Matrix, yeah. But
West Side Story. Nightmare Alley.
All right, I guess there's a lot of things to go out and see.
That's what I was saying. Like, it's crazy that no one, like, this movie is just absolutely eating the rest of the box office. You've got a Spielberg movie out, a Del Toro movie out, and whatever else you want to talk about at the moment.
And I think to what
a Matrix movie coming out.
Right. And I think to what you two were saying just about like how it's going to hold up over time and stuff. And I think that's just because it has to do with there's a lot of fan service in this movie, which is really cool on first view or in view in theaters with a lot of people. But like, I don't know how that's like, to your point, how is that going to hold up when I want to rewatch this movie like 10 years from now?
Right.
Yeah, like what's the replay value on it?
Exactly, right. Like, would I watch this or would I rather just go watch even Into the Spider-Verse, the animated version?
Right.
At least it's a little bit of a fresher take with it not being live action and stuff. So yeah, stuff like that's curious
just
to me.
More of a encapsulated story.
Right.
Yeah, it's an open and shut story all in one.
Yeah, there's so much. You can't watch this film if you haven't watched any of the other.
No, that is something I would say
crazy.
For listeners. If you haven't watched the other Spider-Man movies, the other Spider-Mans at this point, you do need to watch them.
It would help a lot.
It would.
For sure.
Yeah, it would help a lot. You'd probably be a little confused. It wouldn't have nearly the impact.
No, not even close. You're right.
This is just, for me, like, I agree with you guys. It's an interesting movie for what it does and versus what it is. I personally, Spider-Man's my favorite superhero. Grew up watching those Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, like the Sam Raimi ones. Watched those on loop basically when I was a kid. And the Garfield ones I enjoyed, but obviously have their issues. And I've enjoyed the Tom Holland ones, but just Spider-Man's always been that superhero for me. I've always had that special attachment, and so this movie did a lot for me. And like you said, Nathaniel, I had a grin on my face almost the entire time just watching it, just seeing all these characters together, and kind of just reliving that, and kind of just it all came back to me. My love for it, my love for the Raimis, my just like that, those childhood memories coming back about. Just I would watch those movies on loop almost, watch them constantly.
Yeah, like I'm there with you, but like this one just like it has some dumb choices in it of like where they've just written characters to either be like willfully ignorant or like I don't know. I just feel like Marvel, who is typically so tight with their plotting, like particularly with Endgame and then with this as well, there's a couple moments where they just ask you to be on board with things that break the kind of rules of the universe that they've set up just even in that own thing. And I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit more in spoilers, but like
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's just that's kind of like my point of like where it's like, yeah, I had a good time while I was watching this and like I was having fun and enjoying that, but like those are kind of things that I think when I'm gonna go to a rewatch are gonna stand out all the more because I'm not just in the theater with a bunch of other people who are cheering at certain points throughout the movie, which they did do and was fun and was cool to be in there with an audience. You know?
Yeah, I saw this before I went home or before I came back home, so I did see it at that Regal I go to. Definitely the most packed crowd I've seen at that theater.
Sure.
Definitely.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, continue.
No, you're totally fine. I just, for me, those mistakes, there's a lot of characters that don't feel consistent with how we've seen them in the past, which is kind of odd. It feels like they just change things to make this plot work.
Definitely.
And we will go into that in the spoilers. But, you know, for me, it's all forgiven for what they gave us, or at least what this movie gave me.
I have a feeling that's how most people are going to feel about this.
And
I think
is
so
that,
too.
Is that okay? I think
you
so.
got a point.
Like,
No, I agree, but like, there's also a part of me that wonders, like, is this almost like the reverse of like the Wonder Woman 84 effect from last year, where I was like, I just don't think this movie, which is so open-hearted and like hard on its sleeve, is getting the fair kind of kicking it was at the time. Like, I wonder if this one is like a little bit of like
the reverse effect of that.
Yeah, like
just that bandwagon effect in the opposite direction.
Of like, yeah, it's been enough time. Like, everyone's on board with this, and everyone's just like kind of looking back with rose-colored glasses at some of the other things that it's bringing in there and everything. And I don't know so much, you know. It's very much zeitgeisty at the moment. They have captured that again. It's everything that Eternals wanted to be.
Yeah,
True.
right.
True. Yeah, so that being said, I'm definitely recommend.
Yeah, I recommend as well.
Ty. Ty. Hello?
Full blown recommend.
Yeah, I recommend too, for sure. No brainer.
Two-fisted recommendation.
Of course.
For Ty.
Of course. Well, that's it here for the spoiler segment, non-spoiler segment of the podcast. We're going to go ahead and get into spoilers. And boy, oh boy, do you not want to be spoiled for this movie. So if you've not seen Spider-Man No Way Home,
move the fuck on.
Get your ass in a movie theater or movie theater. Movie theater? I want to say movie theater seat, and I just said movie theater. Anyway, get your ass to a movie theater and get in that seat and watch this incredible movie, and then come back. But before you do that, you could also just skip over the spoilers by checking the episode description, where I'll leave a timestamp you can jump to, where you'll be taken to our ranking of Spider-Man No Way Home, Up Upon the Entropy List.
Up upon.
Spoilers.
Shit goes down.
Across the multiverse.
Sometimes.
It's here, ladies and gentlemen. The multiverse is in the MCU on the big screen, and it features, as we all knew was coming, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Even though it wasn't a surprise that they were in this, I still lit up when I saw it happening. I was like bouncing in my chair. And me, I saw it with my roommate Noah, and it was the funny part. I actually maybe should have just told the story at the beginning. Me and my roommate Noah, like Thursday, he was like, "Hey, you want to go see Spider-Man tomorrow?" And I was like, I got a final I got to do, but yes, I'll do the final after. So we caught a matinee at like 3:20, and we saw in that RPX theater, which is their IMAX, and I put that in air quotes because it's, you know, the quality of that theater is about on par with the quality of like a regular AMC almost.
Sure.
But still, it was fine. It was great. Got the tickets, get to the theater, show up perfect timing because I've figured out how long the trailers at that theater about 25 to 28 minutes.
Unlike the ones I saw.
Yeah. And so we showed up perfect time. Only saw about like 10 minutes of the previews, but we get in the theater. Or I go to the bathroom before the movie. Noah goes in the theater. Go back in. I go to sit down. Next to us is all of our fraternity brothers, about 6 of them. And we had not planned to go see the movie together.
Up.
We were not only did we pick the same showing, we sat next to each other.
That's funny.
Yeah, so we all sat down, and I was like had to go down the row to get to my seat, and I get to the end of the row, and I was like, oh, excuse me, and I was like, wait, I had to do a double
What
take.
are
I was
you
like,
doing?
what the hell? And then I walked all the way down, and they were all there, and I was like, oh, that's awesome.
hilarious.
Yeah. So that was fun. So get to the theater, but yeah, I sat next to Noah. We went and saw it together. Obviously, everybody else was there, a few other guys, and man, I just couldn't contain my excitement in this movie. I was jumping around, I was smiling, I was grinning, and I shed a tear or two as well towards the end, just because there were some parts where I was like, this is just too overwhelmingly exciting, and other parts where it was when Andrew Garfield catches Zendaya. It shouldn't have got me as hard as it did, but when you kind of realize everything that means, and then she gives a line like, "Are you okay?" You can tell he's not, and like where you see that character is gone, and how interesting that is. That
Andrew
they put
Garfield,
him in
easy early MVP in this movie.
Yes,
he's
yes.
so good.
Yeah.
What'd I tell you?
Yeah,
He is.
I agree
Yeah.
for sure, but it's got to be Willem Dafoe.
Oh,
Okay,
well, yeah,
sure.
William Dafoe's incredible
Yeah, for sure.
in this, but yeah, I think Andrew Garfield just showed
Yeah.
how that series was really hampered by Sony, and
Yes.
like just Jesus Christ,
Right.
to
What
let
it
them
could
make
have been.
movies.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So yeah, the thing with that is that those are notoriously held as probably like the worst Spider-Man movies. So it's really interesting to see like you're just like, oh, so like it's not just him. Like,
Yeah,
you know
he's
what I mean? It's like,
great.
that's what you
Yeah.
get out of watching this movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely cool and reassuring for him.
Yeah, redemption for him.
And there's been call for Sony to make Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, no, fuck that. I still don't want to see that.
Dude, I actually after this movie,
I'm all
I would go for it.
Come on, man.
I would
No
if they
way.
give him give me the Spider-Man that we see in No Way Home. Oh, I would do it. 10 years, 15 years after we see him become Spider-Man,
You think so?
he's gone dark.
At what
It's a
point
Dark
do we
Knight
have the
kinda story. It's-
oversaturation, though, fellas? You
No,
know what I
I'm
mean?
Sure.
with- I'm with you there,
we're already
Blake.
past that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I think it'd be cool. I'd go
Because
see
they
it.
only gave him 2, right?
Yeah, they only gave him 2. They
Was
had
that
planned. They
supposed
were
to be
kind of
3?
they were kind of setting up a third in the second one.
Yeah.
And they were kind
Kind
of
of?
they were pretty much setting up the Sinister Six, and they just never made the third.
So
because that
yeah,
point
he's
Marvel was taking over.
He's cool. He's awesome though. I'll give
Yeah,
both
he
of
was
you
great
guys
in this
that.
movie. And Tobey Maguire was fun to see. Was it? Was it? Yeah, it was. It was not as. I don't know why he did feel like not a little more.
He feels a little out of place to me.
Little out of place, more than I thought he would. He just a
For
little
sure.
stiffer. He didn't have the charisma he kind of
No,
had back
not
in
at all.
the Sam Raimi's.
I think that's.
But I think that's just age. I think that's just time. He hasn't
Yeah.
acted in a while either.
for sure.
I think that's also not giving enough credit to Raimi knowing how to shoot him.
True.
Mm.
True.
Yeah. Because yeah, he definitely seems out of place.
A little bit, yeah.
But overall,
But it was still great
nice
to see him.
though.
Yeah, right. I mean,
Absolutely.
it was so fun to
Absolutely.
see him.
Oh, that was great. I thought it
Um,
was so fun where he was kind of like the
The old man.
But like he's it's not like he's different as like it's an actor, like where in the first Raimi Spider-Mans he's like giving it his all, and then this one he's like low key. It's like no, he was always like that.
Right.
Like
I
the
think it's
Raimi
just the tone
Spider-Man
of the movies.
Yeah, the Raimi Spider-Man
Yeah.
is like that too. That really kind of like almost
Yeah.
underacting a lot of
Yeah.
times
Yeah.
for certain stuff.
For sure. It's a lot of the tone of the movie, I feel, and just how it reads on screen. But yeah, it was definitely cool to see him.
William Dafoe, like I gotta bring it back to that though. He is
Yeah.
just next level in
Yes.
this shit, and it makes you realize that just damn, like Marvel really needs good villains, like because when
Yeah.
he is good, he's so good. Like
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
he makes this
incredible.
movie somewhat rewatchable.
yeah,
I think
I'd
it'll
say
be for
that.
his
Yeah.
performance as a villain, just because when you start looking at very good villains in cinematic movies that we've seen, right? You now, after this performance, now you start to think of like Heath Ledger's Joker, Tom Hardy's
Yeah.
Bane, William Dafoe's Green Goblin,
Yeah,
right? That's how I kind of start to look at some of and Thanos, of course. But he propelled himself up there with those guys, in my opinion.
I really wonder how his performance in this is going to change how people reflect on his performance in the first Spider-Man.
well, I think you could say that for a lot of the different
Yeah.
characters in this movie. There's a
That's
lot
true.
of
People
Yeah.
like the
there's-
first Spider-Man, though, no?
yeah.
Yeah, the second one is regarded as the best.
Yeah, I'd
Um,
probably give you that.
It's still kind of regarded as one of the best, even after the Tom Holland ones. But yeah, the people still like the first one. It's mainly the third one that people have the biggest
Yeah,
issue with,
movies.
and then the Amazing Spider-Man
pretty bad.
movies. But yeah, I think this will definitely change how people kind of look back on that performance in the first one. And I'm excited to go back and see how it changes it for me when I go back and watch them, because I haven't seen those Raimi Spider-Mans in a bit. few years. So I can't wait to go back and watch them there. Ty, you've been a little quiet over there.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm trying to get trying to see everybody's feelings.
Yeah,
I just like listening to you guys, but yeah, I'll be the first to admit that this definitely gave me a couple of tear jerkers at some point. As much as I don't care for Spider-Man as a superhero character from a comic standpoint, the first ones, the Sam Raimi stuff, was one of the first superhero movies that I had ever seen. So there's obviously a connection built there over time. And you guys know how I feel about the Andrew Garfield stuff. And I'm a big advocate for those. And I really thoroughly enjoyed all of this for the most part. Doctor Strange, I didn't really, it's fine that he's in there. I think they could have gotten around this a little bit. Maybe if they would have kind of kept him out, which is why they kind of, played him off in the middle and didn't really talk about him until the end. Yeah. And how he was just floating over the Grand Canyon, and this all ensued over 12 hours.
Yep.
But as far as the character development that is really cool for me is that they somehow have showed you character development without you seeing those two for such a long time, which is really, really cool. You can kind of tell that they've been living their lives, even after we have dropped what they had been doing. And it's cool to kind of see and how you kind of comprehend, that like Tobey Maguire has, grown up, but he's still doing Spider-Man stuff. And, the whole funny back thing. And, he's like, I'm a little stiff. And he's like, yeah, I got a middle back problem thing too. And he's like, you want me to crack your back? He's like, yeah, you can crack my back. And so, you can tell he's getting up there. And obviously there was that whole thing where Tobey Maguire actually hurt his back during the filming of his movies.
Right.
But yeah, man, I thought everything seemed very genuine between the three of them. I liked the witty banter between the three of them. Ned and MJ obviously played their parts very well. And then obviously the villains, you guys have obviously talked about it. But William Dafoe obviously kicks ass. I'm a big advocate for him ever since the Boondock Saints days. And a few other things that he's obviously been in that, he just steals the show whenever he's kind of on screen. And I think Jamie Foxx did a good job too. Yeah, Aunt May obviously had a pretty compelling performance. And Alfred Molina did a great job as Doc Ock. I thought they did a fairly well job bringing him in.
Yeah, nice to see his character arc as well.
Yeah, I was about to say it was
cool.
nice to see. I didn't really kind of realize how much I kind of liked to miss that character until I saw him come back. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, and you can see when they're kind of all teaming up that there is a good side of those bad guys. There is a genuine need for them the reason they developed the technology that they did to want to help. And that's kind of how they all started. And, somehow they all kind of go down the wrong way. But overall, I'm in. I'm definitely obviously going to go see it again pretty soon here. But I'm very, very pleased.
I think I was surprised at how big this movie has felt and I think too because like I remember Far From Home being that kind of like one of the last movies I saw before COVID kind of like seemed to take over in some ways, or like it was one of the last big ones I remember seeing, and now it feels like it's just like bang, this one's here, and like it feels like Far From Home was like just a second ago in some ways.
We blipped.
We did. We blipped.
We blipped from Far From Home.
COVID's
to No
a
Way
real
Home.
blip.
It definitely feels like that. But yeah, I think for me, there's just I liked a lot of this movie, and I had a good time with a lot of this movie. But there are just a lot of just really weird choices and really strange kind of non-continuity stuff that I think will stick with me on secondary viewings. But overall, big thumbs up. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I want William Dafoe to be in everything.
Mm.
I thought the villains are pretty good overall. You know, it's a film that I think in some areas feels like the plot just kind of happens because it has to. Like as Tyler was pointing out, the Doctor Strange gets sidelined because he could fix it too easily.
Yeah.
You know, and again, in a more connected universe like this is slowly becoming, you have to come up with more reasons for that when they are on their solo films of, why don't you call Thor? Okay, well, you know, where's Ant-Man?
Yeah.
You know, like, there's got to be someone around kind of thing.
I know how to do teamwork. I was on the Avengers.
Right.
The fuck is that?
Yeah, I did like that bit.
There's just so much good humor in this movie.
Yes, the quips were at a good level. The quips were not overly quippy, I would say. As Tyler kind of was talking earlier, anytime the three of them are on team and they're all being Peter Parkered, I loved all of that.
Yes.
I like that they all kind of have a different movement and even different kind of fight styles too.
And you could tell.
And
You can see the
Yeah.
different stances and the way that they swing and kind of play off each other. I thought that was very cool as well.
I'd say they hit all of the emotional beats in the movie well and are all captured well, but the logic and like the story narrative logic in between those movies or in between those emotional moments does not always hold up for me.
Sure.
Yeah, I think they were just kind of banking on the fact like, oh, multiverse, Spideyverse. We're just gonna throw this here because we can. And you just have to believe us.
Yeah,
And I feel that. You know what? It worked. I did.
And I agree. I
think once you bring in the multiverse and everything like that, you just kind of look at yourself and you're like, I do kind of have to believe everything that's happening right now, and I just don't kind of care.
Yeah, all of the choices they made were just in service of giving us that kind of experience that they did by bringing all these characters together. I think it would just been maybe a little bit too hard to just be like to stay strict with it. I think they needed.
I disagree because I think that thing is there in Spider-Verse.
Sure. But I feel like different because Spider-Verse is its own thing, whereas you have all these other characters that already have movies, and then you have all the MCU as well. Spider-Verse was a thing where they could create those characters. This is they're piecing them together.
Well, I mean,
I think it just makes it a little bit harder.
Do you think it's because it's live action? Do you think it's an easier pill for you to swallow because it's animated versus live action?
A bit, but I also do think it's like all these characters we've seen all these movies. These characters in all these movies, they're piecing all of them together into one. Whereas Spider-Verse was it's.
But I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about like when it when like at the end of it, the great big emotional moment is all of them saying, "With great power comes great responsibility," and then you have Andrew Garfield's character go, "Uncle Ben said that," and it's like, well, no, he didn't. He didn't say anything like that. He said, "With responsibility, when you have a responsibility, you need to do this thing," and like. That's easily identifiable, and you're counting on us knowing that for this movie. So, but you're not even following along with what you're saying, kind of thing. Like, I just feel like they got lazy with a lot of that kind of stuff.
They did, and the other thing that I was brought up, and when I heard other people talk about it, is Electro. I don't think ever knows that Peter is Spider-Man.
Yeah. And he brings that up.
And then, he's
like, well, I thought you'd be black. Well, then why are you here?
Then all the people that know that Peter's Spider-Man. Yeah. I mean,
I thought that was pretty funny.
It's a great line.
No, it's a great line, but
it
the
doesn't make
sense to be there. Is
I agree.
Peter. Yeah.
That's really funny.
That it's just, I accept it. It's fine. Marvel has gone this long with like being pretty good about continuity like that. They wanted to do this. To me, that is acceptable. I understand why it's an issue. It does still bother me a little bit. I wish it was fixed. But you know what? I got everything I could have hoped for with this movie and then some. My expectations were moderate because I just wasn't sure if they could pull it off. But as the movie started and I realized they were going to do it and I set my expectations here, they somehow doubled that. Like this movie was incredible for me. And a lot of it, I know for a fact, a lot of it comes to my personal connection with those movies as a kid and everything, and Spider-Man in general. And that's, you know what, that's fine. Take that with what you will. I'm admitting that, but to me, those continuity errors weren't a big deal in this one.
For me, I think this I guess my favorite parts about like this whole thing were, for me emotionally, they hit me right where they needed to. Like when Aunt May dies, like you could you can feel that coming from Tom Holland, and you can see that relationship that they've built is very important to him. And even though there's not an Uncle Ben, she's obviously filled those shoes for him, and I think that's been a really great journey. The fact that Happy's actually crying when they're breaking up, and he's like, "Have you been crying?" He's like, "Yeah, we broke up," and he's like, "What? You guys broke up?"
Yeah.
So, and then obviously you brought it up with Andrew Garfield catching MJ, and you can see that he's not okay. That's something that was really important to me. Because I really like that version of Spider-Man, and the fact that he's with Gwen Stacy instead of MJ, and obviously he couldn't save her, and it was the same exact kind of shot for the most part. He had to kind of go through some stuff, catch her, and you can tell he fucking nailed it this time, and he was very happy that he nailed it. But he's obviously upset that he didn't get it for his universe. And then when MJ and Ned consult Tom Holland on the roof, and you can see that emotionality, like those things hit me pretty hard, and you start thinking about like your friends and your girlfriend, and stuff like that. And I think they did a really good job overall with that, and I think that's where this movie pulled me in the most.
Yeah, that scene hit hard for me too. It was like, oh man, people being for each other there like that was obviously a tough moment. I don't know. I definitely agree with that one, Ty.
And yeah, I did fucking cry.
Yeah, I'll admit it.
It's one that's there are a lot of opportunities to.
Yeah, that's great, man. I fucking love this movie. I can't wait to go see it again.
I think I'm going to see it again. It's
so is real quick. This is like me just like overthinking things. Is J. Jonah Jameson? Is he a seer? Because he's in all of them.
Is he in the?
I think he's just a
Garfield?
variant. He's not in the Garfield ones.
So he's just.
But then why is he in Tom Holland's universe as the same character?
I think he's
It's
a
a
variant.
multiverse. Yeah, he's a variant.
But they're the same.
And
Like Loki.
All the other MJs and all the other Peter Parkers are different.
But like the different Lokis can look different too.
Yeah, remember Loki? The Loki. There was two of like Tom Hiddleston's Lokis in Loki.
Either way, I'd find an excuse to bring J.K. Simmons in on something,
Yeah,
anyways.
dude.
But it's just funny. I thought that was funny too, how they kind of like
How they made
took
him,
it to like a
same.
green screen, and like he's very low production now instead
Yeah,
of like
right.
being in like the actual Daily Bugle and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, but then they go back to where he's in a studio later. So I don't know what that was, but
I think he'd gotten more money.
is that what?
Yeah,
is that
I
what
think
they
because
kinda
he was
alluded
like
to?
hitting the
He was
nail on the
blowing it
head.
up?
People were like, okay, give this crazy guy fucking money.
Yeah, he's like
That's
an
funny.
Alex Jones.
I was just about to say Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of played him up like that, which is smart. Also, I've never seen a news broadcast on a billboard like they do in this movie, but hey, okay.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I'm sure they do that shit in New York. I've never. I
Maybe.
mean, I don't live around
never
big ass
seen it.
digital billboards like that, so I really
I've
don't
really
know.
only
But I'm
seen
sure
it
they
in,
play
like,
that kind of stuff in New York.
in movies, but
Yeah, I
Sure.
agree. I think Times Square is the only thing I could think of.
yeah,
that would be
exactly.
Something
But
like that.
I guess that kind of makes sense then,
Yeah.
because he's in New York, sure. But I was kind of happy with how the movie ended too.
I was not.
You don't like where it ended?
I hate memory resets as a
Oh,
trope.
okay. Yeah.
Sure.
I meant. Yeah, I don't love that either. I definitely agree with that. I meant more with where they left the Spider-Man character. As far as he is on his own now,
Yeah.
he's not doesn't have all these fancy suits. He made his own suit now. He's in a small little, dirty little apartment that is also
That suit was dope.
that was also Tobey Maguire's apartment. And then they had that line, "Don't be late on your rent," and I was like, that's a good one. And now he just seems a lot more like the New York superhero that he always is in the comics and always kind of is supposed to be. And I wonder what greater role he'll play in the MCU, if any. At this point, I don't know what the future is for this character, and I think that's good.
He's got one
Yeah, I
more
think
MCU
One more,
movie.
okay, yeah, and I'm excited for it.
I think you're right. I think it kind of it grounds him a little bit
Yeah.
to just kind of be that small neighborhood
Mhm.
Spider-Man
Yeah, that's
instead
what he's
of
always
this
supposed to be.
big universal fighter.
And it's okay that they made him that because that's what they needed him to be at the time when Civil War came around. And they didn't really have much of an option outside of that. But the fact that they found a way to kind of bring it back home to the roots, I'm very happy for, because I think that's a nice way to kind of put that character for his final movie and beyond.
I would agree.
I have the opposite reaction. I think I just want to have a Spider-Man movie that ends with a Spider-Man in a relatively happy place. and like they always end with a funeral.
That's true.
I don't know, and it's not like. Again, I feel like I'm being overly harsh on this movie. I did really enjoy this movie, but like
You are being a little harsh. You're dampening the mellow, man.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be harsh in the mellow.
It's okay. It's okay.
What about Blake?
Yeah, I mean,
Where's your mellow at, man?
I don't want to say I definitely like the film, so
Yeah.
I don't want to give off that impression. But I do think part of me is I'm almost just like tired of seeing, not tired, but like eventually there's an oversaturation. I think that's kind of what I talked to you guys about when we were talking about the Marvel shows the past few months. And it's good, but yeah, I'm just, as Nathaniel pleads all the time, can we please just get new ideas? And I think that's why I liked watching 9 Days. I think that's why I liked watching The Last Duel. That's why I liked watching The Green Knight. That's why, you know what I mean? It's just refreshing to be able to go into something like that and not expect what's going on.
Or not know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not so formulaic.
Right. So still awesome though. I like the cast. Willem Dafoe is fucking great. I can't give him enough credit for that. Where, like I said, he's enough to make me want to rewatch this, and he makes me want to go watch the first Spider-Man.
Yeah.
From, was that 2002 or something like that? No,
02 actually. I think. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a few gripes I have was just kind of that. Also, time. This movie's just long as fuck. And like, why does every movie now have to be like 2 hours and 30 plus minutes?
There's just so many characters with these Marvel movies now.
Which it makes sense, but yeah, I feel like every Marvel movie now is 220 plus, and it's just like, Jesus, can we?
Yeah, I think a lot of that pertains more to the fact that they're obviously trying to give like the people that know about these universes, they're trying to do a lot of fan service, but they're also they have to take so much time to explain it to the person that just like doesn't know what the fuck is going on. So there's so much more filler in there that they have to kind of make sure that you have a good map to navigate through all this if you have no idea where the fuck you are in these.
Yeah. No, you're spot on with that. You're spot on with that. I would guess, I mean, one thing I found really interesting is when Doctor Strange kind of pushes Peter's, I don't know, like soul or what do you want? Like, he
he like breaks the astral plane.
Yeah, if he does that, but then like his
Peter's
Spidey senses kick in and he still doesn't let
going.
him catch it.
Yeah, that was
like,
awesome.
That was really cool to me for sure. It's like that's something that was new, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
that's cool because we haven't been able to see anyone else be able to do that.
That was a great little bit.
So yeah, you can only assume it has something to do with like Spidey senses or things of that nature.
It's Peter Tingle.
So yeah, that was cool. Yeah, seeing them interact was cool. They reenacted the classic internet 3 Spider-Man meme.
Yeah.
Where they're all three of them are pointing at each other.
Oh,
like
yeah.
they did that where they're trying to figure out like Peter 1, Peter 2, Peter 3. It's like that was cool to see stuff like that just come to live action. But yeah. I liked it, man. But I knew I was gonna like it, so it's like you don't get cool points for, you know what I mean?
Nailing it.
Something like that.
Yeah, isn't that
like,
kind of fucked up though?
it is,
Yeah.
unfortunately, right. I feel
that's
like
just
I'm
where
like
our
the fun
standards are at,
sponge
though.
guy to say that. But it's like the reality is you gave us a good movie. We all expected it to be a good movie. Like, thumbs up.
Is that bad for Marvel? Like they're
No,
too
that's
good.
what they should be doing. But
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, but I don't know.
it's cool, man. You
It's
guys are
just-
doing
it's
this
just
for
funny that
10
they've been-
fucking years.
yeah,
I
it's
would
just-
hope the movie's good. You've built
Sure.
this shit up for how long?
Yeah, it's just funny that like they, as you were saying, have been just so good for so long. It's like we expect it to be good,
Yeah.
and they just don't get the praise
Yeah.
for it being good again.
I wonder
Like,
if
it's just- they were consistently pretty good, man.
it makes me wonder if it is just kind of like we're gonna be heading for a superhero.
Cliff.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
gonna happen.
or
one
like-
day.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
And it has to. And
You know.
I hope it's relatively soon.
I
I
think
think
it's in the next 5 years.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a
hope
pretty
so, dude.
pretty big backlash for a little bit there.
Yeah.
I think we'll find a nice middle ground where it won't be such huge saturation with it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe we'll find a universe reset or something. But you're right. It's just this is not sustainable. I don't think.
Right.
I really
so then
don't think it is.
let me ask you guys this then, and it sounds like this probably be directed towards Adam and Ty because they seem really high on this movie, which it's good as we can't say enough. Do you guys rank this? Where is this in your Marvel movies?
Top 3 for sure. I haven't really decided
Okay.
where it is yet, though.
Yeah, I'd probably put it in top 5. I just have so much more with like Iron Man.
Okay. Right.
But I mean, this they did a good job on this, and I like the way that they kind of wrapped everything up.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, it's hard just because there's so many at this point. I haven't watched all of them that recently, but top 5 for sure, probably top 3,
Okay.
if not 1 or 2.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it'll probably be in my top 10 if you were
Yeah.
looking for my answer on there. But
Yeah. No, definitely.
Fair enough.
there's 20 of these things at this point. 25.
29 almost, right?
Is it enough?
29? I thought it was 29.
I'm not sure. And then for Adam, you said, I mean, top 3, potentially 1 or 2. So I mean, so is this enough to be your favorite superhero movie of all time?
No, I don't think that this won't top The Dark Knight.
Okay.
Emotional impact. Oh yeah, this was one of the best movie watching experiences I've ever had.
Mhm.
But as a movie, oh yeah, this isn't close to my favorite top.
Okay.
The Dark Knight will remain at the top for probably ever. I don't know if a movie ever beats that.
Right. All right. Yeah, that's
There are
what I wanted to hear. I forgot this shit is at the end of this movie.
how many more. All I want to know is how many more. 27th.
what do you guys think of post credit scenes?
The Venom one's terrible.
Venom. Yeah.
What's the point of that? Just so they can have a little small bit of the
Yeah. I mean, I guess it sets
symbiote.
up Venom in the MCU, but
Yeah, but if it's not Tom Hardy, who fucking cares? That's my opinion.
That's what I was saying.
It doesn't
Making
look
it-
like it's going to be Tom Hardy.
That's what I
acting.
was
what if they
saying.
make it someone we do care about?
Yeah, like Liz.
Yeah, I think that's an
I
interesting
guess,
pick.
yeah.
Or Flash. Flash I would take as well.
Not this
don't
Flash.
care.
This Flash I hate. This Flash to me is just
I think
so annoying.
I think this Flash is really fun. Like he's
Yeah.
such just a piece of shit garbage. Like, and I think Tony Ravioli like plays him really well. I'd love for this one to be the weird Eddie Brock of this universe or whatever.
I think they can make it interesting.
But again, there you go again. How does that Venom know who Spider-Man is? How does he know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man? There is no Spider-Man in his universe. There never has been.
Right.
Yeah, but look, dude, they got a shot of all 3 of them swinging around the Statue of Liberty, and I couldn't have been happier. So
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that, but like
that's my defense to that.
Right.
That's my defense to that.
It'd be cool, but I don't know, man.
All right, well, I don't know how much more we have to say here. That was a fun little spoiler.
Great
segment.
movie. I'm tired of Marvel superhero movies, please.
That's fair. That's very fair. We'll see when the rest of the population catches up to you.
Unless they're putting Florence Pugh in them. We're good.
Put them in.
Marvel,
all right.
you've heard Blake's demands.
You have 48 hours to respond.
Luckily, Blake, I think that's a good chance considering
she'll be in another one
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for spoilers. Welcome back, listeners. We skipped over the spoiler segment of the podcast. We're going to go ahead and rank Spider-Man No Way Home up upon the Entropy list.
It's going to be an interesting one.
For those of you who do not know, the Entropy list is Back Row Banter's official list of every movie we have reviewed, regardless of genre, regardless of anything else, all on one fantastic list. This is essentially how we rate our movies, rather than do it out of 5 stars, out of 10, whatever it is. We throw all the movies we review on a list and see how they compare to one another. If you'd like to view the Entropy list for yourself, you can do so by checking the episode description, where it is linked to my Letterboxd. Spider-Man No Way Home.
Movie 80.
80, yeah, I guess now that we did the, well, how are we 2 episodes behind now? What at Double Up did we do?
What?
Am I missing?
Well,
Did I forget to save King Richard on here?
Maybe.
We should be at 81, I thought. Where do we rank King
Should
Richard?
we?
I might have not saved it by accident, and it might not be on here.
Uh-oh. We're going to have to go to the tail of the tape.
I think you're right.
You
I think
son
you're
of
right,
a
dude.
bitch.
Yeah. I think that's what happened. I don't remember. Maybe I didn't press save on the list.
No, it's all good. I think it fell.
I can go back
Where
and
did
look
that fall?
later if we need to.
A little visit from Post-Pod, Adam.
Yeah, we'll take a look.
Why don't we just cut here, and I can look it up just so I can put it on here so we know where it is for the rest of the ranking here. Cool. Welcome back. We're back. we've decided it was listed at 56. Don't know how I didn't press save, but it must have just been a slip of the good old mouse click. I don't know. Who knows what I was doing last week. Anyway, this week, number 81, Spider-Man No Way Home. Interesting one. I think we're all over the place a little bit. I think we'll be upper half, but I don't know exactly where. I'm going to toss it over to Blake, who I feel like will give us the most.
I'd go first.
Yeah, who I feel like will give us the most grounded answer here.
Yeah.
The world waits in anticipation.
Bated breath.
I'll go pretty high. I'll go 20.
20. So below Kill Bill Volume 1 and above The Conjuring.
Yeah.
Above The Conjuring.
Yeah.
That's a big one for you, so that's very surprising.
Yeah. But what caught me off guard was the Shang-Chi
Yeah.
at 22. And
I think that's the best thing to
I'd put
compare it
this
to,
above
obviously.
there.
Yeah, it's got to be above Shang-Chi. I mean, that was
And
great,
definitely
too.
above the Suicide Squad, which was a good movie, but I liked it.
Yeah.
And the Deadpool one's probably questionable. I think I'd like that over the previous two, but as we know, the order's the order, right?
Yep.
So
Where's Deadpool at here? I'm trying to look.
24.
24.
24. Suicide Squad, 23.
Yeah. Wow, we do have 3 superhero movies just grouped up right there. I don't know how that happened, but we're here. All right, so you're at 20. I'm going to go to Ty.
Man.
The world waits in anticipation.
Fuck.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna have to go 13.
13.
Green Knight.
Above the green
Yeah.
room, below green room. All right.
Splitting the green difference.
That's true. I didn't even realize that either.
Look, we're learning more about the the entropy list
we're
every
learning
time.
more about the entry list.
That's what happens when you record past 12 o'clock. Just
Oh my
loopiness.
God.
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Nathaniel.
I'm also at 20.
Ah, okay. So 2 20s, a 13,
Adam.
and I failed to consider where I'm putting this. I have to give kind of a caveat to mine just because I objectively know. I'm trying to play the middle between objectively knowing what this movie is and my reaction to it. I don't
For
feel like
sure.
it would be fair to lean all the way into the reaction side of things because then it would probably be close to the top.
Skewing.
Yeah, it would skew it too much, and I don't want to do that. I'll try to be a little bit more objective here. As I'm looking at it, I think I'll have to put it at 14.
I figured you'd say that.
Yeah, because I did really enjoy The Green Knight and every movie above that. So, if I was to do it completely by just gut feeling, it would probably be up there pretty high, just because of, like I said, this is one of the best movie viewing experiences I've ever had.
I will say, yeah, I had so much fun
So
at the
much
theater
fun.
watching
I'll say
this.
that too, for sure.
Like-
So I wasn't in there just like the garage.
It was like I was
Yeah.
there. I was like, God damn, I miss like big movies and like
Yeah.
being at the
Yeah.
theater with
and
people.
seeing other people's
Yeah.
reactions. Like, it
100%.
was fun.
And the cheering that was going on,
Yeah.
it was great.
Haven't had that since Endgame. to be
Endgame,
honest
yeah.
with you. It's the last time.
Fast 9, there was quite a few people in.
True,
I
my
got
Fast
some.
9 viewing.
I
got
just
some.
hated that.
Oh, yeah, we went together to see Fast 9, right?
Yeah, we did. I thought. Yeah.
That was a good one. All right, so when we average it all out, it comes down to 16.75. So I will give you guys the option of we can tie break with Judas, which we know what will win, or sorry, would it be tie break with Itumama?
Yep.
Yeah, tie break with Itumama, or we can just round down to 17. Basically, do we want to put it at 16 or 17? That's the question.
I'm good with either.
I think I'm leaning towards.
17.
Oh, you're leaning towards 17. I'm leaning towards 16.
16.
Is that 2 for 2?
I mean,
that's 2
I'm
for
cool
16.
with it. It's behind the green.
Nathaniel, you're the tie break, and
I'm
you're the one that loves Itumama. That
Yeah,
reason
I
it's
feel
there.
like I can't
you
vote.
You can't. You're abstaining.
Yeah, I don't feel like I don't know if I can. I can go.
Oh my god.
I'll break middle ground.
Oh my god.
I'll do 16. I'm cool because it's behind.
And you know
the
what?
Green
We've always
Knight
done
Dune.
we've always done tie break when things
Yeah.
are like that. So let's just put it at 16. Are we
Yeah,
cool?
no, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with either
I'm all
or.
right with
Is
that.
what I was saying.
Cool. All right, Spider-Man: No Way Home slide in at 16, below Judas and the Black Messiah, which feels weird, and above Itumama.
Yeah,
Top
that's
Gun.
definitely the one we talk about.
Yeah.
Where we're just like, oh yeah,
Yeah, that
so
that
I
snuck up
originally
there.
thought you were at least gonna say 15,
Yeah,
Adam, but you did one above that. But I was like, he's definitely putting it above Judas and the Black Messiah
yeah, definitely above
and
that.
Itumama.
But the
'cause
Green
you
Knight,
hate both.
I
You
hit the
don't
wall
hate
of the
both
Green
movies,
Knight, and
but-
I remember coming out of that theater like, damn.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw my dad. My dad
Same
was
thing with the
watching
Green Knight when
that
I watched it.
Friday or something because I ended up referencing it to him, and I ended up sitting down and like watching half of it just because I saw him watch it, and I watched the entire second half.
Yeah.
Well, if you enjoy that second half, maybe you should check out the second half of Nightmare Alley, as I did today. Still mad at myself about that one.
All right, well, let's move it on here. Nathaniel, we'll keep spreading out that crop of 5-star reviews.
Sounds good.
It's late. We got to get to them, but we will eventually. We'll spread them out.
That's true.
If you want to get your thoughts read out on pod, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. I've heard Spotify has now added a rating system. I'll have to look into how that's working out because I think there's some weird things where you have to listen to some of the episodes. You can only leave reviews, but there's some workarounds to that. I will look into it. Get back to y'all later. Anyway, 5-star review, Apple Podcasts. Go leave that there. Share the podcast. Share with a friend, family member. Maybe a clone from a different universe or a different version of yourself. Whatever it is.
A villain.
A villain.
Doppelganger.
Next week's review,
Doppelganger.
that might be nice to know. Is it Matrix?
I would think
Do you
so.
guys think your doppelganger is evil, or do you think he's just like you, but like Mexican or black?
I hope it's both of those.
The evil Mexican doppelganger. It is indeed the Matrix Resurrection. Resurrections.
Yeah.
Plural.
We're resurrecting everybody.
I really feel like I should watch the trilogy beforehand.
Oh yeah, I forgot you haven't seen any of
But
those.
well,
At
I've
least
seen
watch
the
the first one.
No, I've
dude.
seen the first
Yeah.
one. I've seen
Okay,
the first
for
one.
sure.
I feel like I should watch all 3.
I mean, it probably wouldn't hurt. To be
Yeah,
honest.
I just
might
don't
see
know
if
where
I
I'll
can.
find the time.
I might see if I can rewatch.
Halo's
to
calm.
Nathaniel's point. I'm gonna see if I can at least rewatch the first one though.
Definitely recommend.
Yeah, probably the first one's a good idea. So that's next week's review. Go out and see that. And it's also, I believe, coming to HBO Max is what I heard
okay,
in the
cool.
trailer. So you got that there if you want it. Please follow the podcast. Do so on Banter Row. On Twitter at Banter Row, on Instagram at Back Row Banter Pod. Our YouTube, it's just Back Row Banter, and then our email for anything you want to send in, questions, comments, concerns, grievances, anything of that sort is backrowbanterpod@gmail.com. Especially go follow that Twitter because that's where we've been sending updates with these kind of scheduling changes and everything like that. I've been trying to send out updates on when things are happening and why we canceled last week's episode. So you find out there first.
For sure.
Blake, where can the people find you at, my man?
Letterboxd, BlakeHolder. I'll be on there logging some stuff. Yeah, I'm super tired. So that's all I
let's
got.
keep it going.
We're fading fast.
I'm
That's the next
exhausted.
person.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at NSGingrich or at NathanielG92. Tyler.
I do Twitch. I've been twitching a lot more. That's twitch.tv/Eltrabajo87, ELTRABAJO87. We're having a lot of fun over there, so come join. And Letterboxd, Instagram, and Twitter are all Tyler Vidalis, VIDALES.
You can find me on Twitter at H24 and Letterboxd at H and my Twitch whenever I get that back up and running because that is in the works, ladies and gentlemen. It's twitch.tv/H. That'll do it. Man, I got to get out of here.
Episode 80 in the books.
I had a 9-hour shift today. It's been a long day. Episode 82
82.
in the books.
Movie 80. 81.
Movie 81. Man, we got to get out.
We're falling apart.
If you have made
Shambles.
it this far, I apologize, and thank you for listening. We'll see you next week with Matrix Resurrections. We'll be RB.
Be excellent to each other. We'll be RB.
Appreciate you stopping on by. Please do anything you can to help us grow. We appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, leave a review, do whatever you do. We appreciate it. And happy holidays. Hope you guys have safe travels if you're going anywhere, and just be with your family and enjoy that. And we'll be RB.
Yeah, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that and above. We'll be RB.
America. Ready for another lesson.
So Ty, I saw when you were pulling your cards last night. What was that pretty rare-ish one you got? That final one?
Final one.
Okay, good talk. It was like an energy potion or something that was like super hollow.
Was it the gold card?
Yeah.
That was actually I think it's called telescopic sight or something like
Yeah,
that.
that one.
It's a gold card. It's actually not the secret rares, which are some of the golds and some of the rainbows. Some can be really rare and some can be just like meh. That one's more of the ones that are just like meh, but it's still cool because it's a gold card.
Gotcha.
Ty was pulling some cards, about a week ago? And me and Noah, we were playing Halo together with Ty.
Oh, Noah.
My roommate Noah, who's not the OG Noah. There are 3 Noahs in my fraternity.
No.
This is Noah roommate number 2.
The one that was there when I was pulling.
Yeah. So we were playing Halo together on stream, and then my other friend came over. My other buddy Eddie Massini, shout out Eddie Massini, love you, man. He came over, and Noah. Yeah. So me, Eddie, and Noah. We were hanging out. So then we stopped playing Halo. Then later, Ty was streaming, and then me and Noah hopped back on to play. And I was like, oh, I'll see if Ty's still on, and he wasn't, but his stream was still going. So I was like, I bet he's pulling cards, and he was. And he pulled, I don't even know what they are, Ty, but he had
Pokemon.
what looked like a god pull. Well, okay,
They're evolutions.
yeah.
Ah.
They looked like god pulls, and he got like four or 5 of them.
Which ones you get?
4 of them, yeah.
It was crazy.
I got Glaceon V, which isn't that great. I got a Sylveon V, which also isn't that great. And then I got a Sylveon V Max, which is better. And then I got a Sylveon V Max Secret Rare Rainbow. So it was crazy.
Cool.
Yeah, it was wild.
Because I only had 4 packs and I pulled 4 of those hits.
Yeah.
It was like 1 hit per pack, which is pretty crazy to
tuned
see.
in
All
for-
4 different artwork?
Yeah, technically. I mean, the last 2 were the same card, but 1 was rainbow, just same art.
Okay.
But then the more rare thing for me was that typically on a pack you can look at the code card and tell if you're going to get something that's worthwhile or not.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, if it's white and green, like such,
Mm-hmm.
you will more than likely pull some kind of holographic or some kind of rare.
Really?
If it is green, it's usually more than likely just going to be a pretty common card.
That's so weird.
So,
I'm in.
yeah, it was cool. I actually just opened up more packs today. Well, I didn't. I watched Brett do it, but I went and dropped off Brett's celebration box and I saw him.
Live and in person. Actually, hold on. I can do crowd sounds.